What the fuck is up, everyone, and welcome back to the probably most ambitious crossover since Avengers Endgame. We got a fucking crossover podcast happening right now tonight. Welcome to not just Lost in the Dark podcast, but also
to the Bog Talk.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
What is up, everybody?
Welcome.
God, we got Alex and Mike from not just Bog Wraith, but the brand new podcast Bog Talk, out now, available wherever you listen to your podcasts. It's everywhere.
All the podcasts,
and it's fucking outstanding.
We're like stripper glitter, dude. We're everywhere, and you just cannot get rid of us.
There's a little of us everywhere, and then you're just gonna have to live with it.
Everywhere you look, you see the bog.
You don't know why it's there, but it is.
Why does it smell like coconut?
Oh shit!
Yes. Fuck yes. This is. Thank you guys so much. This is incredible. This is gonna be a lot of fun right now because tonight,
Dude, I'm so stoked.
I'm super excited. We are talking about. I mean, really, like the first, the first like superhero movie to come out in a year, probably, right? Is any other movie?
Yeah. Well, technically, Wonder Woman '84 came out, but that movie was
and
just
Bloodshot, the Vin Diesel Vertigo, or not Vertigo. What comic?
I don't even.
Yeah,
I don't even think I saw that.
He played like this dude that was like augmented with like this technology that could like rebuild it. He had hyper healing. It was
the trailer looks kind of cool, but
they're making a sequel. It's doing fine. But yeah, we're talking about something way better than that.
Oh, epic as fuck. I mean, outside of WandaVision, this is really our first like thrust back into these universes, and of course, it's Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. We all just watched it within the last 24 hours.
I literally finished it as we were sitting here setting up for this podcast. So
yep,
that's how fresh he's on it.
Yep,
fresh as
the pH, man. Sorry.
Fucking 4-hour long movie. Well, I guess you know what? A good place to start is something that we were talking about earlier. So going into this, where's everybody at on the DC cinematic universe, the DCU or whatever? And where's everybody at on where things are going in?
Okay, so I took it upon myself this week to watch Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, the Ultimate Edition, and the 2017 version of Justice League, which I used to be very lukewarm on Man of Steel, but now I like it. I genuinely, I don't know. I found something way better about it this time around.
So it flipped on the rewatch.
Yeah, same with Batman v Superman. I hated that movie when it came out. It was so terrible. But then you watch the Ultimate Edition, and even though it's 3 hours long, you're like, this
way
stuff feels
better,
way more earned. Like there's actually like plot and stakes that like lead up to a certain thing. And like they just kind of like took out little plot beats and stuff that actually really build towards what's actually happening. Yes. And even Doomsday felt more like not crazy shoehorned. It was still shoehorned, but like it didn't feel as like random of a thing.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, 100. I think the Ultimate Edition is a lot better than the original. And well, with those two movies in particular, like there's always two things about them. First of all, Batman versus Superman, the big climax scene was of course filmed at the Grand Central Station in downtown Detroit. And then that the fucking museum scene was filmed right here in East Lansing, right here.
And that weird fucking art.
Yeah, when your art museum's so wacky looking, they're like, hey, a guy who pees in a jar and blows up senators could have his base here.
Yeah, absolutely.
People would totally go to this in Gotham.
But that was sick though. Like I'll always love that stuff is in there. But then with Man of Steel, the thing that I always love about that movie is actually the fucking trailer. Like the original first ever trailer for Man of Steel had this one shot like from behind, like on the hip, where you see like a young Clark Kent with like a red cape tied around his neck, putting his fist on his wrist for the first time. And when I saw that on screen, I was like, that is all of us. That is every comic book fan. We all did that when we were kids. Every single one of us ran around with a fucking cape on. And I fucking love that trailer so much. So I always kind of like, I never hated those movies as much as everybody else because I had these weird reasons. But yeah, I didn't rewatch them recently, but I did rewatch Batman vs Superman within the past few months, and I definitely felt the same way. I was like, this is way better than I remembered it. You know, we still have the whole Martha, but
like, well, they even set that up in the very first scene of the Ultimate Edition. You get like the death of Batman's parents, and you see Batman's dad, Martha, and like they like pointed out to you, like, remember this name, it's very important, it's gonna be super important.
It actually makes it make more sense. That's true. Yeah,
I thought that was super funny on rewatching it, because I was like, wow, they really actually like hammered away the fact that like that's gonna come up again.
Did they do the thing with the pearls in it?
Yeah, but like,
of course, dude, of course, you have to watch those fucking pearls hit the cobblestone every 3 years in Batman.
It was Zack Snyder-y, so he didn't pull it off of her. It like was wrapped around the gun, and the hammer of the gun broke the pearls. It's like, dude, that's so Zack Snyder.
Yeah, it is. It's like just
yeah. So I mean, I'll say going into this, and Alex knows this, I am not the DC guy of the group.
Nope.
I have major issues with Superman. I don't like him.
We talked about this last week on the Bog Talk.
As a character, like as a character,
as in general,
as
an idea. I think I wait when we talk about these like people are like, you know, those we talked about it on Bog Talk last time, like, oh, the 14-year-olds always identify with the Joker. But as I grew up, I look at Lex Luthor, I'm like, dude, like he's got a point. Like, who is this alien to come down here and start forcing like his Kentuckian or Kansas values on the world because he could shoot laser beams out of his eyes? Bruce Wayne was 100% in the right in Batman vs Superman before he had his change of heart. So I've got, like I said, going into this, I'm the one that like, I hated the Justice League, the first cut, because they brought Superman back an hour in.
I didn't feel earned at all.
That they didn't in the Snyder cut. He comes back 3 hours in, and that's when it makes sense, you know.
Oh, dude, it soaks. You really feel the weight of him being gone too, because like they even mention it a few times when like they do scouting at the first part where they're like, I really miss Superman right about now. Like, this is some crazy shit that we're going into.
Yeah.
But that all being said, with my dislike of Superman, I thoroughly enjoyed his role in this movie of coming back, and you know, they did it in the Justice League, his like, I don't know who I am, and then Lois shows up and he's like, oh, that's right, I'm the good guy. That in itself, clearly this was supposed to be a trilogy, and you can tell there was stuff that they wanted to go in deeper in on, but they couldn't. But all in all, my biggest issue with Superman is that you bring him into any story and it's solved, it's done. Superman just can't be beaten, and he punches his way out of it. And there's no, like, even this whole movie was setting up like, oh, what are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna need to punch this guy really hard, so let's get the punching guy back.
Let's get that dude that can punch like hella hard.
Yeah. Now, granted, and this may be jumping ahead a bit, his maiming in this movie was a little more okay with me. I liked the emotional Superman a bit when he fucking sliced that dude's horn off.
Dude, that was so badass. Holy shit. Sick. Especially because like he's like profusely bleeding and stuff, which is another good thing about the Zack Snyder's cut, is that it's R-rated, so all the blood that you could possibly want is pretty much intact into it. Like, you get to see like Amazons getting hit with Steppenwolf's axe and literal blood flies. Like, there's some shit that goes down in this fucking movie, especially compared to the original.
Yeah.
The part underwater when Steppenwolf is just hacking up Atlanteans, dude, and it's just like blood puffs in the water. I was like, whoa, man.
And then
like,
Mara fucking sucks the water and blood out of fucking Steppenwolf's face, and he throws her and he's like, no, don't do that shit. Like, that was so gnarly. Holy hell. They ramped up everything in like a very satisfying way.
So I guess like how do we tackle a 4-hour movie on a podcast?
I was about to say, let me grab my phone. Let's see what my first note is.
Yeah. Well, we're real quick. Aaron,
Steppenwolf's armor looks like tempered knife from Asian import mall stores. That was the first note that I put down. Was that he shines just like one of those ones that's like the rainbowy blade that you get at like one of those like cheap knife stores in the mall. That's usually like Asian imports, and you can buy like katanas and like randomly like energy.
There's always a Buster sword on the wall.
Yeah, there's always one Buster sword that nobody wants to buy because it's $400.
I always thought Steppenwolf looked like a Marauder from Doom, the newest Doom game.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Like horns and like he's super tall and shit. But no, as far as like I don't know, as far as like my sort of like side of it, like I'm kind of same as Mike. Like I've been very like I feel like I've been like very spoiled by Marvel, and at this point, like I'm so used to seeing those kind of movies that like anything different. Like I remember the first time I saw Batman vs Superman, I was like I just wasn't into it for whatever reason. Like it just didn't really hit me the same way. And honestly, like I kind of forgot that they put out a like a different version of it, or like an extended cut of it, I guess. So I'll probably have to go back and watch that. But I've seen Suicide Squad, I've seen Man of Steel, I've seen all the basic ones and stuff, but I've always just I don't know, for one reason or another, like maybe it was just like the hype of it, maybe like just being like super invested in the Marvel like Endgame kind of like timeline and stuff. I don't know. Like I didn't really pay much attention to it. But I will say, yeah, man, like I think this one turned out way better than the last one. Like it'd been a long time since I'd seen the actual like the first cut of it. So I didn't really remember a whole lot of it. I didn't really have like a super good reference to go off of. But what I did, and like as I was like, you know, kind of watching through like all the parts and stuff, like it kind of started to come back to me like what happened in the last one, which I thought was really cool. Like a lot of the stuff that they, you know, that they just kind of glossed over in the last one, they really kind of went back and added to and made more sense of, instead of just, oh well, this happened. We got 2 hours, and then, you know, I feel like they spent so much time cramming in like, you know, the first like hour and a half of like just building up the story, and then they didn't really know where to go with it, so they just kind of ended it. And this one I felt like was a bit more fleshed out, even though, like I was saying, I still feel like it could have probably been like an hour shorter, or like, you know, maybe cut the fat from it a little bit, and like, you know, all. I mean, I don't know.
I think as I was watching, I saw, because they have the breaks, the chapter breaks on this version. I really honestly think this would have benefited from a week-to-week release.
Really?
As like a miniseries?
Yeah.
Honestly,
as a miniseries to
like,
because it would have given you more time to digest everything. Because when you're watching a 4-hour movie and it's just like, boom, here's Cyborg, boom, here's Flash, boom, here's Wonder Woman, boom, here's Batman. Batman's got this plane. Alfred's built this gauntlet. Let's boom, we gotta go. And that's like the first chapter, and then it's like, holy shit, all that happened. It's like, take a breath. Chapter 2.
You know what?
Boom, here's this. Like,
you know what? I kind of agree with you. I think that the chapters stand alone would have hit harder emotionally than the way it was, and maybe not week to week, but maybe like release one chapter on Monday, chapter 2 on Wednesday, chapter 3 on Friday, 4 on Sunday.
A staggered release.
Yeah.
I probably would have been, well, one, I would have been able to absorb the information a lot more.
Right.
But two, it would have kind of, like you said, like it would have had a little more emotional impact, because like you'd see something happen and then you'd have to wait a couple days to see the results of that. And it was clear that a lot of this stuff was supposed to be quick setup, early payoff that acted as another setup. Like it all linked together very well, a lot more than the Justice League, the first version. Snyder, as much as I will, I take issue with certain, I'll say filmmaking choices, cinematography choices, in this cut, he's a master of his craft, and especially in storytelling. I mean, look at how he was able to take Watchmen, something that was considered unfilmable for 20 years in Hollywood. Everyone that tried to get a Watchmen movie made was laughed out of Hollywood. And then he showed up to a pitch meeting, set the graphic novel down, and said, "There's my storyboard. We're fucking doing this." And he nailed it. So by no stretch of the imagination could someone say that Zack Snyder doesn't know how to tell a story. But when you're trying to tell this big of a story, you gotta pace it a little better.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like cinematography wise, there was like a excessive slow-mo. Like Aaron, you said we could have cut an hour out of this movie. Honestly, I would like to have a version of this where I could go and speed all the slow-mo shots that aren't the Flash, because that's his power and you need to use that to represent it. But like,
yeah, that makes sense.
Those are really cool shots too.
There's so many shots of like Wonder Woman going, that's like 45 seconds of Gal Gadot's face turning to look at something. And it's like, can we just have her turn her head? Maybe?
Dude, what about the Amazon swinging the hammers, where it's like a fucking 4-minute scene of just ready the hammers, and then it's just buff chicks just swinging hammers. That was in the original, but like
I had to take
it like it's just, it's so interesting. Yeah, no, I had to rewatch the scene for scientific reasons, but like
total research.
But like it was just so interesting because like I feel like you guys do have a point with like it could have benefited from being a miniseries, because like this, like it started off with like some like basic setup of like Batman v Superman happened, here's where you're at, fucking Batman's looking for people, and then you get 300 the movie that just happens for a little bit, and then it moves on. I thought it was so funny because I was like, man, Zack Snyder really could not resist just putting a little bit of everything that he's done in superhero movies just all in this movie. And like the 300 like Amazonian scenes were just so apparent, because anytime any Amazonian did anything, including Wonder Woman, it was
so you watched with subtitles. What the one
ancient
note that
lamentation
music playing.
Ancient lamentation music.
Like who wrote that subtitle? Well, it was like, you know, because whenever they would describe the type of music for any other, it'd be like upbeat drum beat, dramatic overture, like stuff
hard rock song,
hard rock playing. But then anytime an Amazonian was looking wistfully at something, it was that and it was like ancient lamentation music playing. I was like,
ancient lamentation music.
I do remember laughing about that when it came, like, because it was like a reoccurring thing. Anytime they show Wonder Woman, like anytime she's like flipping over something,
dude, she looks at somebody weird for a second.
Yeah, dude, it got to be a bit much with those scenes. That I'll say honestly, the most of the stuff with the Amazons, I'm fairly uninterested in.
I liked it because like I really loved the fact that you get to see them working as an actual army for once, instead of it just being like, oh yeah, Steppenwolf came in and just wrecked fucking shit and then left.
That's the one thing I thought was really cool that they did a super good job with, was all the battle scenes, man. Like just like the big scale. Like it made me feel, it was like that first time you watched like Two Towers or like some of Lord of the Rings movies, or like just some of those like just those giant epic battles that could go on forever.
And that's one thing. Clearly Snyder can do fight scenes better than Whedon any day. The battle with Steppenwolf in Justice League was one of those things that I couldn't watch. Like I told Alex the first time I went and saw the movie, I didn't even finish the movie. I walked out of the theater because it was so bad. Like I was just so put off by nothing being done an hour in, and then they're like, wait, never mind, Superman's back. And I was like, okay, you know what, I'll read the synopsis online. But this one, the every fight scene flowed properly. Like you felt that the battle at the when they fought at the under the Gotham river, dude, that was super cool. And you could tell
way better
everything that was going on. You could see one shot flow to the next, as opposed to say Wonder Woman 84, where I still don't know what the hell that last battle scene was about. I couldn't tell.
Wait, with her and Cheetah, where it's at night and you can barely see what's going on because they wanted to make sure that the CG wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I like there was because I think like the one DC movie that really stands out over the last few years, and you were mentioning about a lot of the water shots was Aquaman. Because I really like that movie, and I was glad that a lot of or at least like the first bit of it kind of focused in on that sort of like style. And like anytime they would like have conversations under the water, they would like it'd be like a super creative like transition shot where they'd like it like oh somebody flows in and they're just like all of a sudden they're just in this bubble and everything's like floating around them and stuff. And then like I don't know, like all the underwater shots and like the battle shots that ended up under that were cool.
Yeah, dude. I really like that.
Aquaman.
I really like the fact that when they were underwater and not in the air bubble, you could hear them doing like the little like trills and clicks instead of like actually trying to talk. Like they would actually like communicate like a fish would.
Yeah.
Or like a dolphin would, I should say. So, something more mammal like.
Yeah, I thought they got very creative and clever in the way that they had that like underwater communication thing going on. Yeah, definitely.
I also thought it was such a tease that the only time we got to see the Omega beams was underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was so cool, but I wanted to see more of that.
Yeah, they set it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's RIP to the Snyderverse. Hopefully they can restore it, but then again, I don't know if anybody else would want to come back.
I feel like
that
DC is if they would just suck it up and go with the what did you call it, Alex, a few months back? They call it like the Elseworlds.
Elseworlds.
Yeah. If they just want to do that and just tell us stories with the characters and not try to tie them all together.
I mean, they kind of are, you know, they have everything we're talking about right now, and they have the Robert Pattinson Batman coming. That's not connected to anything else. The Joker wasn't connected to anything else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I kind of feel like that is a smarter play for them at this point.
It is. Marvel has the cinematic universe staying on lock. And I think we're starting to see finally companies are kind of not, I won't say abandoning the idea, but they're trying to move away from it because they realize that it's not always going to work.
Yeah, they're trying to do something different.
Yeah, even with Star Wars, they're kind of moving away from like, they're like, no, we're not going to do like movies until like we have like a foundation for what our movies are going to be.
And quite frankly, after The Mandalorian, that's all I want from them right now. Like,
dude, the fact that we'll stay on Justice League, I promise. But the fact that they name dropped Thrawn, I jumped up and like punched it. I was like, yes, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big part of Rebels.
Yep.
Feige won't let that go. I think, you know, that's what I think the DCEU really suffers from. They don't have a
central
heart, you know, like
they don't.
Feige's one of those dudes that like loves this stuff. He got into this to make the stuff he loves. Yes, and make a shitload of money at the same time. I'm not saying that he's doing this all as a labor of love. The dude is loaded. But he loves the stuff that he's doing. And that's what you've got Snyder, who is like, I want to make really cool movies. And they're like, cool, you're gonna make the DCEU. And he was like, yeah, I'll make my Batman versus Superman movies. And
dude, he loves being part of DC because like look at the movies he's made. Again, like dark, gritty, 300, Sin City. Like he's like really cut his teeth on like what DC used to love about themselves. And like doing like the dark, gritty, like we get to be like, oh shit, our villains are straight up cold-blooded murderers, and like I don't know. It's
he's very clearly a comic fan, but he's not a central hub of a franchise like Feige is, and I don't think he wants to be. You know, I think it's clear that he wants to make the movies he wants to make, and then DC and Warner Brothers were like, all right, man. And then we're going to tie Wonder Woman into it. We're going to tie this into it. We're going to tie this into it. And he was like, that's cool, but I'm going to keep making mine. I'm going to keep doing this. And then, the tragedy struck. So
he did make a Cyborg movie, which is pretty nice. Cause like, it's like, this movie is like 300, a Cyborg movie, a Justice League movie. And somehow that all like combines well and works together in this 4 hours run. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I like that. But like, you're right. He's not like a central figure that like could like plan out something like Kevin Feige, which I mean, that makes sense because Kevin Feige has had a lot of this, like, I feel like he's had a lot of like the first parts of it, like goodwill planned, where he's like, yeah, and if this goes great, then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, instead of just being like, oh yeah, we'll wait until that actually happens and then strike.
Oh, 100%. As a matter of fact, that's part of the MCU's magic with him in particular, is that when Iron Man 1 premiered, okay, so the red carpet premiere and everything, that point so before the public got to see it, at that point in time, it had gotten it got such a good reception at the premieres that they quickly scrambled, ran back, and shot that first ever Nick Fury after credit scene to release then to the public. It was a last minute decision. The original cut of that movie did not have the after credit scene. So like, it literally was like, we're making this Iron Man movie. It's probably going to flop, but what if we get to the Avengers? And it was literally just them in a room playing. Like, just like you guys fucking know from being in a fucking band. Like, like it was literally that just ended up being this,
just, it worked, man. And one other, one big major difference as to why the MCU, I think, works over the DCEU is that it's got, it's a little more relatable, I guess. It's, you can go into a Marvel movie solo and not except the Avengers movies, of course, and watch it as a standalone movie.
Yeah.
Whereas if you watch Batman versus Superman, you got to have Man of Steel knowledge to understand what's going on. And to watch Justice League, you've got to understand what happened to Batman versus Superman. Like, these movies are all like directly linked. Whereas like in Marvel, they'll be like, oh yeah, like, I got bigger problems in the Southwest Quadrant. We're doing Thor.
But like, I don't know. They did like the previously ons for Batman v Superman. Like, they had like Batman's side of Man of Steel, where like he literally lost a bunch of his team at Wayne Enterprises. But think about going into that movie and not knowing what happened in the last movie.
Happened in Man of Steel, and all you see is Wayne Tower getting fucked up and Zod and Superman fighting. You'd be like, okay,
and you see
what
Batman's
the hell
point
is
of
this?
view. Yeah, you see Batman's point of view.
Yeah, but without the knowledge of everything that led up to that in Man of Steel, you're going to be lost.
Yeah, you don't get like the news reports of like, there are men from the sky. One of them is trying to annihilate the planet and make it like his planet so that he can enslave us. All that bullshit. Yeah, you don't get that. But like, then in the Justice League, you get Superman being stabbed while he's stabbing Doomsday, and then the echoes while you like the echoes of his voice that didn't happen in Batman v Superman. They put that in so that they could wake up the mother boxes with it.
I feel like they kind of started doing like the crossover stuff a bit, like, well, more so with like the Marvel stuff within the last few years, like within the, about the span of like I feel like just before it, because Infinity War would have been, I don't know, there was like a few movies and stuff that happened in between there, but like I feel like they kind of, they hinted at it and like kind of were alluding to things that were like, could potentially happen, like just things that they were heading towards and stuff. And I feel like, especially with WandaVision, for sure, because that was really kind of like the first time where it was just like not straight too far away, but like I feel like that was kind of the first time where like they kind of like were able to like have a bit of like a sandbox kind of show in a sense, like they just kind of like, were able to kind of like mess around with like some what ifs and some like you know, some like stuff that didn't really happen, but like, you know, could because it's this kind of a story or it's this kind of a universe and stuff.
Oh, dude, if I hold super tight to the theory, and we'll get right back to Justice League after this. Yeah. I hold to the theory that show, the reason it was week to week was because they wanted to test the waters of what they could get away with. And when they saw, as soon as they like, oh, look, it's a cicada. And everyone was like, oh my God, it's fucking Mephisto. We're so excited for Mephisto. And they were like, okay, we can get away with doing Mephisto. And then we're going to mention an engineer building a thing. And they're like, it's fucking Reed Richards. We're ready for Reed Richards. And they're like, okay, we could do Reed Richards. Cool.
I felt like that show was actually just a testament to Marvel writers being like, yeah, keep speculating.
Yeah,
give us that free press. Give us that free attention. Talk about it. Give it to us. Actually, that's literally all they're doing, because like they paid off none of the stuff that people theorized.
I will say by the end of it, it was kind of more of a palate cleanser show than probably anything. Like it just because like I know that like because I don't know, like Winter Soldier kind of tells a different story. It's like direct a couple months after Endgame, and like I kind of felt like
Oh, somebody hasn't watched it yet. Uh-oh.
Well,
I know I'm bad, dude. I'm a bad nerd.
Well, I will say with like I don't know more. Well, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But
anyways, Snyder Cut.
Yeah, with like the Snyder Cut. I don't know. I genuinely felt like there were certain things about this that like it kind of reeked of the idea of we are going to set up more of a universe, especially with Ryan Choi being name dropped at the end, like them like directly being like, oh, the head of nanotechnologies, Ryan Choi. And you're like, oh, it's the Atom. But like, you're not going to see his movie. And like, you don't get like this, like based in China superhero flick that's going to,
that is a very good point. Is the way, I mean, okay. So going back a little bit, the fact that it's 4 hours long. Yes, I do think it could have benefited from being parsed out, maybe just over the course of a week, even not necessarily week to week or whatever. But ultimately, I wanted every bit of it that I got, I guess. Like I wanted every minute that Zack Snyder wanted me to see to be there. You know what I mean? I want everything that he wanted this movie to be there. And it definitely, I mean, fucking A. They didn't even have an after credit scene, but B, in the epilogue, they used the after credit scene from the original one with Deathstroke. So he clearly meant this to be the foundation for something much bigger that I mean, maybe, who the fuck knows? Because I mean, this is now the second superhero movie that the fans have made happen. The first one, of course, being Deadpool, based off that short that they did. And now this, like, so who the fuck knows? Maybe we do end up getting this Zack Snyder verse, but which I would be down for.
They should do it as an HBO series.
Yeah, like do something like that. And so, you know, who knows, but definitely did set up so much stuff at the end that going into it, watching this movie, if you know what it is, you already know there's not gonna as of right now, there's not gonna be a sequel. So it is kind of weird to me that they ended it in the way that they did with so much fucking setup.
Well, I think a big part of that was him being like, look, it's still there. The meat of the possibility is still there. All you got to do is do it right. Quit fucking around, you know? Like, do we, God, like, don't get me wrong. I'm excited for the Pattinson Batman movie.
I am too.
Oh, me too. I'm super excited about that one.
But could that have been focused on doing, like, just make that the beginning of Bruce Wayne's Batman or Ben Affleck's Batman?
Exactly. You called him Bruce Wayne. That means he's the most Batman.
Could that be
honestly?
Could that be year one Ben Affleck though? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. Because like he's not exactly like a built dude like Ben Affleck got for the Batman role.
Now let me say this. I've said it before and I'll say it again. For superhero actors, especially Batman, it is tough for me because the only person, in my opinion, who has done both sides of the coin justice was Michael Keaton. He did a fantastic Batman, and he did a fantastic Bruce Wayne.
I agree.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
Clooney was a fucking joke of a Batman, but he was a good Bruce Wayne because he was a cocky rich boy asshole.
He could only be Bruce Wayne. Oh man.
And Val Kilmer did a halfway decent Batman, but a shit Bruce Wayne.
I don't know. Val Kilmer wasn't exactly it was great.
That's why I said halfway decent.
Yeah, I guess.
Now Christian Bale, fantastic Batman, awful Bruce Wayne.
I don't know. I think he was a pretty decent Bruce Wayne and not a great Batman. But then again, he was like pretty solid overall. I just hated the bad voice. Like,
tell me where the keys are.
Yeah, the digital bat voice makes so much more sense to me. The voice changer.
There was a cut scene in Batman Begins. There's a cut scene that it's unfinished. I think it was on one of the special editions, but it was him messing with the voice modulator in his suit, and then to create the digitalized voice. But then in his first fight, it gets broken, and it's like it goes to that like. Just drank a bunch of whiskey and doing a Cookie Monster impression.
Whoa.
And then they used that idea in BVS.
Yeah, because fucking Alfred was the tech guy for some reason.
Which movie had that deleted scene?
It was supposed to be in Batman Begins.
So in the Christian Bale.
In the Christian Bale. So his gravelly voice was supposed to make sense, but it
was going to be a voice modulator.
And then they were just like, nah, he's just gravelly voice because he's gravelly voice.
Yeah.
That blows my fucking mind. That makes so much more sense.
Yeah, it was supposed to make a lot more sense. And then it's like Dark Knight comes out and everyone's like, oh, great. Here we go again. I just need a lozenge.
I don't know. I actually really liked both sides the way Affleck played it. Because my big problem with Bale, like don't get me wrong, I fucking adore every second of those movies.
Oh, for sure.
But my problem, because I grew up on the animated series, so my Bruce Wayne needs to be fucking.
Me and Mike just nod the exact same way.
Built, big chest, square ass head, and Ben Affleck, I felt like captured that perfectly.
Dude, his jawline is a square, so of course
it's perfect. He looks the most like the animated one, I think, than maybe anyone.
And he got ungodly jacked to be Batman too. Like he was fucking in it. I really wish he would have gotten a chance to do his own Batman movie because it was going to be a movie about him versus Deathstroke, and that gets me so excited because like that is just not like normally used Batman villain in a movie. You get Mr. Freeze, you get the Penguin, you get Joker, you get Two-Face, Riddler. Yeah, it's like you get like the first couple that come to mind, but you don't get like ones that are like Deathstroke, the guy that Deadpool is a parody of.
I'm still fucking like, and you know what? We'll get it. This is a question I do have for you guys before we get out of here. I want to know how excited you guys are for Godzilla vs. Kong. But outside of that being on screen, getting the treatment that it does, the next thing that from my childhood that I want to see on screen is a legitimate portrayal of Batman versus Man-Bat.
Oh, that would be really cool.
I love that character.
They could do it. Like if they do a sequel to Robert Pattinson's version and stuff like that, I think it'd be kind of cool to like use that like gritty realism tone to like tell like a horror story about a fucking like living bat. And everybody's saying that it's like an actual Batman that's going after people.
And you and I are both huge fans of Kevin Smith podcasts, and we know when he does them live, he always has fan people asking questions. Well, and I'm sure you've heard him talk about the Heart of Ice storyline from the Batman animated series.
Oh, it's amazing.
They retconned Mr. Freeze's story to make it this beautiful, intense, amazing storyline.
It's on HBO Max if you want to see it.
Fuck yeah. If I ever get to ask Kevin and Mark Bernardin a question, it's how would you reframe the Man-Bat storyline to be like, how would you write it? You know what I mean? Like I've always been curious about that because I love the comics that Kevin has done, his Daredevil his Daredevil run is probably my favorite Daredevil run of all time. And yeah, I've always been that's a character I've always loved that I never felt like gets the props it deserves.
Yeah, Man Bat is definitely one of those ones that's usually just mitigated to, oh, it's a monster.
Did you watch the animated what was it called? It was the alternate universe where Superman and Wonder Woman are like fascist protectors of the world, and Batman
the Red Sun
is, no, it wasn't Red Sun. Hold on. It was, the long and short of it is Batman is actually Man Bat, who like kills criminals and feasts on their blood, but he's voiced by Michael C. Hall.
Oh, that's
Dexter?
a good fucking voice.
Yeah.
What? That's a thing.
Whoa!
Pod, yeah, I'm just gonna pull up the name of this real quick because it's one of the animated DC films, and it is like the animated DC films I will watch all day, every day, dude. Going right back to Mask of the Phantasm, going and seeing.
I love that one
when I was a kid.
I did too. Dude,
it was so cool.
Yeah,
my mom was so mad because like she was like, "What am I sitting through? Why am I paying to watch a cartoon?"
I still have the fucking. I can't. Did that come out in the 90s? I can't remember.
Justice League Gods and Monsters. That's what it's called.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, that's a DC animated one. Look that up. That's got some crazy alternate universe stuff in it. Yeah, dude. It's like the world governments are like terrified of Batman and Wonder Woman because they're like, we can do what we want. We're just trying to keep you safe. And if you get in our way, we'll melt you with our eye lasers.
Yeah, they love doing that kind of storyline in DC, the new gods, which I mean, in a sense, Zack Snyder's Justice League ends up being a story about the new gods coming because the old gods decided to knock back, and they behead Steppenwolf like he's a little punk bitch. And I thought that was amazing because the Darkseid crushes his skull beneath his foot, and he's like, I knew he was a punk bitch. He wasn't gonna give me those like 500,000 fucking worlds.
That was probably one of my favorite parts of it. He's like, because his head just kind of like floats through the portal, and he just like cracks the horn on it. It's just like, yeah, whatever. Like,
yeah.
Doesn't even give a shit. One note I have written down, it says, "Who the fuck is this guy with Darkseid?"
Decide?
No, the other person that is just like
Granny Goodness.
Is that a person I'm supposed to like know going?
Yeah, that's one of like Darkseid's cabal. Granny Goodness is like super fucking powerful. She's just an old lady that's like hella powerful. That is just like one of Darkseid's right hands.
Yeah, Darkseid has a little team like Thanos did.
Yeah, dude. Especially because like Desaad is very, very similar.
Did I miss that character introduction at some point? Like,
no, Granny Goodness does not get a line or anything. They were just gonna save her.
I just kept seeing it, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? Like,
yeah, who's this like human with just gray hair?
Parademons, this guy in a hood that's talking to Darkseid. They're close, and then it's just it kind of, you know what it looked like? I thought it was like Antonio Banderas's Collector. Is what I thought for a second. I was like, is that Tanavir? Wow, there's my tongue. It works. Tanavir Tavalin?
I'm not gonna lie though, Mike. I kind of rub up on like not necessarily the character as a whole, but in this movie in particular, that is one thing that I did kind of rub up against a little bit, was just like, okay, so ultimately this just becomes about like bringing back Superman, and we're just basically like, granted, we're basically just going to use him as a weapon. Granted, we need this weapon because there is something coming that would just decimate the earth, but it's still like it's you know, like what I don't know. It's just weird to me that there's like a Justice League, but without this one character, it doesn't work.
So it's to me, it's if you look at it in absolutes, when Bruce Wayne says, without him, there's no us. So by that equation, there's no need for you.
It was in the context of the movie and the spirit of the thing and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's not really what he meant.
Yeah, I get that part. That one did. I was like, okay, no, I get. He's just saying, you know, you know,
like
without
he's saying like the concept of the Justice League wouldn't have been birthed if like Clark wouldn't have tried to just like be friends with Batman.
Right.
Because in Batman v Superman, Superman didn't want to fucking fight. That's why Superman almost got killed. Because he didn't want to fight.
Without Alex, Aaron, and Mike, there's no Bog Wraith. You know what I mean? It's that same fucking. So I get that part of it, but like just the whole concept of like we need to bring him back, but essentially he's a weapon.
Yeah,
like it's just kind of like felt odd to me in a way.
It was. Yeah. It was. That's, and like I say every time Superman comes up, man, it's every story he's in, he's always the linchpin, and it's either way too. I mean, look at like what they show with the Nightmare thing with like, it's Darkseid has taken over this planet, but we're still focused on dealing with Superman. Justice League comes together to try to stop the Mother Boxes thing, and they're like, well, shit, I guess we just got to get Superman.
But at the end of the day, that character having been created the way he is, how do you write that character
to not be Superman?
Not to not be Superman, to be Superman.
Honestly,
but
you know what you do? You write that character as a legend. You kill Superman off in the second movie, like they did, and then you have the world dealing with that fallout. You don't bring him back because one completely invalidates the drama of the previous movie.
Right. Yeah. I feel like they just like dropped the ball with the whole like killing Superman right away thing. Like that should have definitely been like a thing that waited to happen.
Yeah.
Because apparently this whole trilogy was going to lead up to the death of Batman. And then it was going to be Lois and Clark's son taking up the mantle of Batman in his honor because of how much he saved his family.
Yeah. I read that earlier too. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
It was interesting because I was like, why would like Superboy decide to be Batman?
Yeah, have they ever done that in the comics? I don't believe so, because like Dick Grayson, Damian Wayne, like most of the Robins have held up the title of Batman at one point, especially because like there was a whole battle for the cowl that happened where they were all like, well, who's gonna be Batman now that he's fucking gone? And I don't know, it's a whole muddy situation with that, especially because like there was Batman Incorporated in the comics where like there were several Batmen amongst the entire world that were just a police force that were just Batman. But like, I don't know, whole weird thing. Comics are weird. Same with like the whole Granny Goodness thing. I had to look up the whole fucking Wikipedia and stuff. It's like, yeah, she's just like an apocalyptic that is just like hella powerful. So it's just like some old lady that's just like kicking ass. Yeah.
It's like just some old lady though. That's my thing. It's like, where you put so much into the character design, and then it's like, and then like she's just got white hair.
Yeah, no, she's literally just an old lady in the comics too, basically. Like she's got like some armor and stuff, but like still just like old lady kicking ass.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, if they want to have her be someone, I don't know. I feel like when you put something in a scene, it's supposed to have weight. Everything's supposed to be on screen for a reason. So when you have a character like that clearly has had character design go into it, why not say it? Because they probably filmed and recorded a line of him being like, and Granny Goodness will go to, and they were like, nah, nope, cut it. That's dumb.
You get Steppenwolf at the fucking spire that like they all like transform into, and you see Granny Goodness. He's like, Granny Goodness, oh my god, please don't.
It would not have landed, you know.
Yeah, especially because like the name sounds goofy and stuff. I feel like it's like definitely something that's like meant to be like, this is another piece of muscle that Darkseid has, just kind of there, you know. Like you'll deal with them later, not really unless the Snyderverse gets restored. But like, yeah, I don't know. Especially because like it's just a comic book accurate. Like the nerds will know that.
I think they would be silly not to try to keep going with it. I think that the Snyder Cut showed that one, you gotta have a vision and you gotta stick with it. Like the silly bits that were in this movie were so well timed, and like I loved Aquaman during the final battle, like having fun with it and just like throwing it, be like, oh, man. Yeah, and then like
the best line in the movie stuck in.
Yeah. Or when he meets Alfred, he looks at her, he's like, "It's pretty badass, Alfred." He goes,
Pretty badass, Alfred.
Yeah, I love how Bruce is like, I work for Alfred. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like it was good and lighthearted, not like in Justice League where it's like every 14 seconds somebody has to be saying a witty
what's
one-liner.
the problem with brunch? You know, you gotta wait an hour and then you're just eating lunch. Like that was literally one of the Barry Allen lines that they rewrote. It was like, oh, what's the deal with brunch? It's like nobody wants to hear this. Like, what the
guest
fuck?
writer fucking Jerry Seinfeld from 1993.
Yeah.
Right. Or like they took out like some of the jokes that they had in like the Batman meeting Aquaman scene. And I really appreciated that because some of the lines were just offhanded bullshit.
I heard he talks to fish.
Yeah, I heard you talk to
there.
fish.
Wasn't in there.
That's true.
And then like
Yeah,
he also had like a reason for flashing his money. He was like, no, I legitimately need to talk to the Aquaman. I don't give a shit if you think I'm patronizing you. I have the actual cash. Let me talk to this dude.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. I feel like that scene played out so much better up until the Icelandic singer quartet decided that we're gonna sing him away and we're gonna do it for 4 minutes straight. We're gonna like just like
that's
stuff in
the Snyder
Icelandic
thing.
Yeah.
That's the Snyder stuff that I love though, because it's like he was like, I have this image in my head of Icelandic women singing Aquaman back into the ocean, and god damn it, you're gonna see it.
Gonna happen.
Like they're one of my favorite shots he's ever done, and it's useless unless you're like just really going for it. Was in The Watchmen, and it's the scene where after he can't get it up with Silk Spectre, he's just standing butt naked in the owl cave, I guess, or whatever, staring at the owl suit, and he's like getting mad. He's like, can't stand how mad this suit makes me. And it's like that scene was in the comic book, and Snyder was like, God damn it, it's going in.
Impotency needs to happen in this fucking superhero film.
You need to understand why it makes sense that he shoots a big fiery load across the moon later.
Dr. Manhattan needs to hang dong. Could you imagine if he got his will with this kind of film? Because you could see they had that one scene when Batman and Wonder Woman hit the mouse together and they're like, oh no, sorry, yeah, it's okay. I was like, dude, what the fuck? Why would they even film this part?
Because like that's, well, we got to show that they might bang someday.
But Arthur and Wonder Woman are the ones that are supposed to bang. They're the ones that are supposed to cause the war. It's how the comics work, man.
I mean, okay, first off, does that happen in every iteration of the DC?
Not every
time like Superboy punches reality to bring his dad back or whatever.
Or there's one time when something so stupid happens that the multiverse shatters.
Yeah, dude, there was the Superboy was really distressed, so he got super mad and punched so hard it broke reality, and Superman came back to life. And I closed the comic book and was like, "Fuck this."
Was that Connor Kent?
Yeah,
Connor Kent.
Connor Kent, the fucking clone. He's not even truly a fucking Superboy. He's half Lex Luthor, the stupid bitch.
They did him right in Titans.
Yeah, they got him super right in Titans. Honestly, that's one of the shining moments of Titans. Honestly, is the fact that Connor Kent gets like a decent arc in it, because like God knows they're not going to give it to Jason.
That waste of a fucking screen time.
Yeah, dude, which they hinted at the fucking death of Jason in the nightmare sequence, which I loved. You sent a boy wonder to do a man's job. I thought that was a fucking pretty cool line for how cheesy it was. Like, it's decent. Like,
I thought it was good. I liked it. I liked the Joker. I wish that he had been in more of it, kind of. I guess it wouldn't really made sense, but
I liked the ragtag group they had.
Yeah,
I think it would have just been great. A nice little like break in the middle where they're doing stuff and like Joker starts causing some shit in Gotham and Batman just goes, you know what? Can you guys give me a hand with something real quick? And it's Joker like, come and get me, Batman. And then like Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg, all Aquaman show up and he's like, oh shit. It's like, yeah, dude, knock it off.
How many of you fuckers are there?
We've got shit to do.
Like admittedly at the start of it, I was a bit disappointed that he was only in part 6, but at the same time, like if they would have tried to like pepper him in like during the entire movie, like I don't feel like it would have made sense. But like as far as like the overall trailer of it, I feel like they made him seem like it was going to be, I mean, I don't know, for like marketing or whatever. I don't know if that was the reason for it, but like
100%.
I really felt like they made him out to be more of a part of the movie than it actually was at the end of it.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
There was that interview where they talked to Snyder, and he said that the nightmare sequence was originally planned out to be like an hour long.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
So I spent this whole time waiting for that hour-long nightmare sequence.
Yeah. So yeah.
And so like it was around like part 5. I was about to text Alex and be like, "Do I need to like rewind? Did I miss a part of this movie like when I fell asleep or something?" But
I remember like the end of like, I don't know, we were getting towards like the end of part 5 or whatever. And I was like, all right, this is cool. Like there's a lot of stuff happening. I really like where it's headed and stuff. But I was like, haven't seen the Joker yet. We've barely seen Doomsday. Like Dark Side, sorry.
Doomsday already died, bro.
I know. I'm all over the place. But I was like,
yeah, we never actually get a final battle with Doomsday.
Yeah.
Or Dark Side. God damn it. Now you got me doing it.
Let's say Doomsday's dead. We got that file. Yeah. No, we get inklings of what the true battle with Darkseid's gonna be like.
Yeah.
Could be like if they ever make it.
I remember, I don't know, that was kind of what I was, as far as like the end of it, as far as like getting to like, you know, just like the last bits of it is like, I feel like it was pretty open-ended. Like I think that like I was a bit more disappointed to find out that there just wasn't any real plans right now for anything like other than just this. I mean, rightfully so, because it took so fucking long. But at the same time, like for them to like not continue on with the story and not continue on with like everything that they built up and stuff is just kind of like, I don't know.
The biggest problem we're going to see here, is that the reason Justice League did, I don't remember exactly how bad it did at the box office, but like reviews as well as poor box office returns led to them kind of shying away. So, oh Jesus Christ, I'm just gonna mute real quick.
All good.
There we go. So you've got this happens now, and it's out on HBO Max, so you're not gonna see box office returns, but you've got the fans, the people that went and saw the original Justice League and didn't like it, are now watching this and enjoying it and showing that they do enjoy the movie. But the studio is just going to be like, okay, so every movie needs to be 4 hours long then. Got it.
Nah, I think they'll be like, so we need to let people do their vision the way they need to. Or they'll be like waiting to see how the Blu-ray sells, and that will be their returns, because they need to make back like, yeah, there's going to be a Blu-ray in a couple of months. There's going to be like a 4K, like Ultra Edition Blu-ray and stuff. So like they're going to get some kind of money back on it, but like they're also going to have to see how that comes back, because like they also spent an extra 70 million that Zack Snyder took 0 of. He was like, nope, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm doing this because I love it.
Did definitely really seem like a bit of a labor of love, kind of, or like
100%.
You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, especially because like you could see it in Ray Fisher, especially because like they took his entire fucking movie out of the theatrical cut. It made no sense. Like he was literally
he was a gigantic part of this movie, like
driving force, heart and soul.
Yes,
like
he was the heart of this movie. Yes, in a big bad way. Yes.
Yeah, and like it's a night and day difference between like how his performance read in both movies too. In the original Justice League, it kind of read stilted and like kind of robotic as it was, but in this movie you see so much emotion and so much that he goes through, and like the way that he builds towards like, I do need to help people. Like I know this like terrible thing happened to me, but like I need to use it proper, because it's not going to do me any good to not try to do anything. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just such a unique take on his story too, because like you get to see the falling out between him and his dad because of the accident and like what happened. And oh man, I love it.
I was a big fan of that part of it specifically. Like I just remember just kind of being taken back by it a little bit because like they didn't really explain it the first time, and then like the fact that they kind of made him like more of like the main driving force of the of bits of it and stuff was really cool.
Yeah, I really loved his scene of like getting to know his powers, and like you get to see the visual representation of like how he sees his powers, and like how he can go up to somebody's bank account and be like, wow, this person literally has $17 right now, and then just be like 100 grand that's just digitally in your bank that realistically is just there because who's gonna double check that shit? Like,
yeah.
Okay. I'm really disappointed in myself that I took like the massive bite of that wrap right as soon as we got to my favorite part of the movie.
Dude, yeah, because
Okay.
Cyborg is legitimately the top tier of this movie. Like Darkseid's cool. I love that stuff. I love Steppenwolf's upgrade. I love all of the individual heroes, but Cyborg. Ooh.
Now, like when you were talking about the representation of his power,
I'm gonna
and how he go ahead.
I'm gonna step out real quick, but I'll be right back.
Okay. So the representation of his power and seeing him like walking and seeing when his dad's explaining, like you'll see the financial institutions and their complex interactions as a child's plaything. It was I've talked about how I love the digitization of a mind in a movie.
Yeah, that was also something we talked about last week, surprisingly.
Yeah. So yeah, right. And to see them explore Cyborg so much more in this movie did so much justice, not only to the movie, but to the character itself, because he was such a whiny, broody brat in the theatrical cut. They made him out to be like, they kind of gave this like, dude, you've got all these fucking powers and you're standing in your room being like bitching about your dad. Like, and then this movie comes in, it's like, oh, that's why he has these issues. Like, yeah, like you said it perfectly. His entire movie they cut out.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I almost feel like that's why they announced a Cyborg movie after the Justice League, because they were like, hey, we kind of screwed you over out of like the entire plot of your part of this movie, man. Like your dad dying and like that being the way that you find where Steppenwolf is, and like all of these important things of how in the hell did you even find these fuckers are explained in this cut in a very poignant way. And like it just sucks because like Ray Fisher got fired from the Flash movie, and like he kind of just got screwed out of a job despite the fact that like he had a lot going for him, especially like seeing the proof in the pudding from this movie.
Yeah, I would hope that them seeing this, I would love to see him come back as Cyborg. I don't think he will. I think he sees this entire scene as toxic. And until we get rid of the toxic elements.
Well, he didn't with Zach, right?
Yeah.
That was just Joss. So
Joss came on the set and started calling Gal Gadot Natasha, apparently. I was reading about this. He kept referring to her and calling her like Widow and stuff, like Black Widow. Like, yeah, dude. Oh, dude, if you go read all about, I've been reading about how much of a piece of shit Joss Whedon is.
Fuck him.
Yeah, it sucks. And like we did the whole, Alex and I talked about like the art separate from the artist. I'm still gonna watch the first two Avengers movies and enjoy them.
And Firefly.
And honestly, not Buffy. I got to the end of Buffy and just stopped caring.
Buffy's okay. It's not as amazing as people want it to be.
But yeah, he apparently came on set and started being shitty to her, being shitty to Ray Fisher, and like,
that's fucking Wonder Woman, bitch.
Yeah.
You don't fucking disrespect Wonder Woman.
Right.
Like,
calling her
is
Black
this
Widow.
Fucking kidding me? Like,
yeah, dude. He's such a douche, man. Like,
hey, Aaron, we're not talking about you.
Hey, yeah, he's back.
God, I'll just leave then. Fuck all y'all.
I love that you
just
come in. He's such a douche.
It was just timed too perfectly. We're talking about how Joss Whedon sucks ass.
No, but like you can't. No, like Gal is. I mean, like
she had a bad Wonder Woman movie once, but
the
other one was fine.
We had we did just like Spider-Man and just like Batman and Superman. We had the old TV show versions of these characters, but I mean, for me as a fan, she is my Wonder Woman. You know what I mean? Like for me as a fan, like on screen, on the big screen, Gal's my Wonder Woman. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, 100%.
She is that and will forever be that. So like, you don't fuck with that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
You don't fuck with that. Like,
You don't call that Black Widow, for fuck's sake.
well, I mean, look at the difference in her role in this movie versus her role in the theatrical cut.
Dude, she actually has a sick arc in this where like you get to see her kick ass.
yeah.
That opening bank scene where like the
all the
terrorists
fucking-
come in and just
Ding, all the fucking
Yeah.
tings.
That's right. I messaged you, Alex. I'm like, how the fuck did they give Gal Gadot a better, or Wonder Woman a better movie in the first 20 minutes of Snyder Cut?
Right.
In the villain, like just a bunch of crazy terrorists that want to blow up Catholics in a bank.
So
Like,
yeah,
amazing.
that's it. They were just like,
Such
we
a
want to kill
great
these
scene.
people as a
so
message.
much better
and
than
that's it.
like, I want to be, I lose my power of being nice so I can become a cheetah.
I can walk in high heels now, so I'm a bitch.
God, dude, I could.
I know,
beat my
I know.
head against that wall for that movie.
I know you. You guys rubbed up 1984 up against 1984 way more than I did. I actually, there's a lot that I liked about that movie way more than you guys. But what about that? What about the opening? What about the opening sequence though in 1984?
Oh, the mall scene?
Yes, that was dope, right?
It was good enough, honestly. Like I thought
That was very comic book to me.
Yes, that is a very good way to put it. It's very comic book like it's super. I don't know. I just think it's weird because like I don't know. There's a lot of that movie
But it
that
was
like
it was so much
fun to just
better
pick
done
apart.
in the way she used the powers and the way they represented her powers in this when they showed her actual like moving super speed and do the like
they gave the lasso a name.
yeah.
And Justice League, the way they represented the ding fucking was way better. Yeah, for sure. Like without question. I just really loved that opening scene in 1984 where it was so like and it was very like early. It was like what's the guy's name? Jack Kirby. It was very fucking like Jack Kirby Superman Wonder Woman era comic book to me. And I just appreciated that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's what I liked about the post-credit scene in Wonder Woman 84 is like the fact that like you get like the old school Wonder Woman come in and she's like, hey, what's up? I'm here. And like that's the whole post-credit scene. It was just her being cheeky and being like, hey, I'm still Wonder Womaning out here.
I still have something to say about the fact that I think they were giving the middle finger to that Titan show with that scene.
Dude, for real, because like Dinah or not, what the hell? I think it's
Diana.
No, Diana's Wonder Woman. I'm trying to think of Wonder Girl.
Oh,
because Wonder Girl's name is like very similar because she even was Wonder Woman at one point. But like, man, in Titans, big spoiler, she gets an electrical thing that falls on her and it fucking kills her somehow. Yeah.
So then in the end of Wonder Woman 84, she catches the power pole and is like, not like that ever hurt anyone. Like, that's not a thing. And throws it away. I was like,
yeah, one hand just fucking throws that bitch. Yeah, it's like literally, and in Titans, you see Wonder Girl fucking die because of that shit.
So, but yeah, so it's, I don't know, man. I would like to see them continue on. I think we just need to not do individual movies for these heroes.
But they need to finish the Justice League story at the very least. Like that's one thing that they could just keep as the crossover thing. It's just the Justice League story.
But let's go here, Mike. So you went into this much like, I mean, I feel like all of us. I feel like the entire world went into Zack Snyder's cut expecting it to be better than the original, but those of us that are going into this watching this movie, 4-hour-long superhero movie, we all already love Marvel more. Like I feel like we're all kind of going into it with that same sort of mentality.
I tried to
at least the cinematic, at least full disclosure.
Yeah, I was about to say I got way more DC comics than I've ever had in Marvel.
Yep. Full disclosure, in fucking comic on paper, I'm more of a DC guy. On film,
easily.
On film, these motherfuckers know how to write a great story for Marvel. So
I feel like
it's that we're all going, but Mike, like I just said, we're all going into it with that. But you just said, I'd like to see this get continued. And I feel like we all agree there. I feel like this fucking cut was good enough where we're like, oh, we get what you're going for now.
Exactly. I'll take any superhero movie you want to throw at me. I love them. I'm a sucker for them.
Daredevil.
Same.
Bring it on, dude.
Oh,
Ben Affleck, Daredevil.
Wake me up inside. She's like stabbing the sandbags. Yeah, dude.
No, give me
Electra Nachos.
Give me Charlie Cox. Give me Charlie Cox. I
can't wait for that Daredevil to actually do something again, because I really hope they do, because Vincent D'Onofrio Kingpin was like an essential thing, and Tom Holland against him would like give me big boner.
I couldn't handle it.
He is at least rumored to be in Spider-Man 3.
Yep.
Oh man, I'd have a heart attack, hononestly, because Spider-Man 3 is also one of those things that's like everybody's rumored in it. Like I'm rumored to be in Spider-Man.
Right?
3.
Yeah. Bog Wraith is rumored to be having a Ace Ventura Cannibal Corpse set in Spider-Man.
No, it's gonna be like Tenacious D's cameo in Biodome, where we're just gonna be like, we're just gonna be like, we're gonna be like in like a college little like circle, just like, jamming out on acoustic guitars.
God, we got our own fucking Mark Ruffalo here. Jesus Christ.
Oh shit. Oh God.
Trouble?
I'm gonna get a phone call later. Well, like I don't know.
I would like to see this version continued because the characters made sense. The story made sense as opposed to it just being a 2.5-hour slog and nothing gets done. Not like
a half-ass fucking version of a jump start of a cinematic universe.
Yeah.
I'll say it was nice to have like a bit of a change of pace and a bit of like a different like set of characters to kind of like get into instead of just the same like old guard kind of thing, like the same ones that same like 5 or 6 that we've kind of been like conditioned to like pay attention to and stuff. Like now we're talking about like, you know, like DC, we're talking about like, you know, Superman and Batman, those like, you know, I feel like like for as much as like as far as like the comics and stuff, for as much like source stuff as we have, I don't feel like we've seen like up until, and like that was, I guess that's probably my biggest critique of the Snyder Cut of Justice League was like if nothing else, it just left me wanting to see more of it. Like and I think that was kind of to your point is like, you know, I felt like walking away from that, I was like, I want to see more of this. Like I want to kind of see like the next kind of story from this instead of just like this is just a standalone thing and that's just what it is, I guess.
But you have an interesting point there. So you actually liked the fact that that you didn't have a trilogy for each character going into the movie. You actually liked the fact that there were some fresh characters.
Yeah, because it like to me like you know, it was like, I guess like, you know, it was like Suicide Squad. It was really kind of the first one that we kind of saw like the big like, you know, sort of like a different idea of like these like, you know, the kind of like outsider like villain like anti-heroes, I sort of, you know, I suppose. But really like with, you know, with Justice League, as you know, with the first one, I feel like it was kind of the first time that we'd ever really seen, you know, a different set of like heroes or a different set of like, you know, like a different group to focus on and just kind of like get thrown into it rather than having it be like a whole bunch of backstory and stuff. Like it's cool to see like just some others get some light and just kind of like, you know, some lesser known stories get told. And I think like going forward, I feel like that's kind of what I'd like to see a little bit more is like, you know, because I feel like everybody kind of knows the Batman story. Everybody knows the Superman story to a point, like, you know,
Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
Ad nauseum is the term.
Yeah. In a variety of different ways, we've all kind of seen it. And like, you know, that's kind of why I think I like the Aquaman movie a lot. That's why I think I'm gonna check out the Wonder Woman movies, just because mostly just the newest one, because I guess the last one isn't super awesome, but like
No, the first one's good. The newest one is the one.
Oh yeah, the first one is spot on. The second one,
first one's amazing.
Yeah, it's like a really
all
good.
the good faith built on by the first one.
Yeah, exactly. It's
but I'm not gonna lie, I didn't rub up against it the way these guys did. Like I actually liked it more. I loved Kristen Wiig's Cheetah. I thought
Pedro Pascal without a mustache was a great villain, though.
I thought he was a good villain. I did think he was a good villain, but I did rub up against his storyline a little bit. I thought the story I was like, what's going on here? Kind of most of the time, but and you know that like I said before, I did have a few fucking problems with that movie. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I thought it was a solid sequel. But the first one really I thought it was a good sequel, but the first one really set a really, 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 really high bar. And so it didn't really live up to that at all. But it still had elements that I enjoyed, because I just love Kristen Wiig and everything that she does.
Yeah,
so,
she's amazing.
Yeah.
Everything she does. Wasn't she in the Ghostbusters 2016? The audio listeners on our podcast did not see how hard I just pushed my glasses into the bridge of my nose.
They are now a permanent fixture on his face.
Okay.
Yep.
Full disclosure.
I don't hate that movie as much as everybody else does.
And that's what I was gonna say. I'm a gigantic Ghostbusters fan. I did not see that movie I actually didn't see that movie.
I was gonna say, if you haven't seen it, don't.
I saw it about about 2 years ago, maybe coming up on 3 years ago now. I saw it over the summer. I was on a trip, and it came on TV, and I just decided to watch it, and I liked it 10 times more than I thought I would. Like, I'm not saying it was like a great movie or anything like that, but I was like, why did everyone give this shit? Like, this was fun as fuck. This was, and not only that, they had a Lansing, Michigan joke in it. In the credits, during the scenes in the credits, she was like, "Oh, I think I just sent that one to Lansing, Michigan." I was like, "What?" Like, I know there was like a few jokes in that movie that made me go, "But are you kidding me? Like, this is awesome." So, like, I love Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, and Kate McKinnon, and Leslie, and that is a super group right there. Like, they are 4 of my favorite comedic actors going right now, hands down. So it just, I actually, unpopular opinion, enjoyed it way more than most people did, apparently, because I saw it way later. And
oh man,
hey man, you're talking to the guy. I will sit here and I will defend the Riddick trilogy.
I love that trilogy. I love that trilogy. Are you serious? They're supposed to be making a new one.
Yeah.
I think the real pearl of those movies was Pitch Black, and then they were like, "Hey, we actually might have something." Pitch Black was
genius.
Chronicles of Riddick was okay. I didn't see the third one,
but it was sick. But it was
also the third one.
To see Starbucks boobies in the third one. Okay,
Starbucks boobies.
Ooh. What is the third? What is the subtitle of the third one? I can't remember.
I was just Riddick.
Oh, that's right.
And then they had the video game tie-in one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Escape from Butcher Bay.
Oh yeah, because it was like a prequel one.
Yeah.
Those movies escaped me. I never saw any of them.
Oh, dude! If you like sci-fi schlock, you'll love it.
Okay. Aaron and I decided the other night when he was here watching Justice League, that because and this is me like showing that I'm a little bit of a poser. Apparently, I haven't really seen any. I've seen a couple, but not any of the major Rob Zombie films. I've never seen House of a Thousand Corpses. I've never seen Devil Rejects. Yep.
Dude, the two best ones,
Yep.
like
Yep.
literally every
Yep.
other Rob Zombie film can go in the garbage for me. But
So,
like
well,
A
for
Thousand
me,
Corpses,
I love
like
Halloween.
I'm
will
gonna
have
come
a
to your
place in my
house and
heart.
set you on fire if you say
No,
that again.
no, yeah, no. So Aaron and I decided we got to watch those together. Aaron, God damn it, we're gonna watch those two in Pitch Black because you gotta see Pitch Black, dude.
Feel
Yeah,
like
dude,
We're gonna
it's
add
so
that to the list. So let's
But-
educate one another.
Man. It's
Yeah,
crazy
dude.
how many cinematic universes we ended up talking about because
Right?
of Spider.
We didn't even get into Tremors.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on Tremors. There's like 7 of them now, and they've gotten just progressively weirder.
Wasn't there a new one like last year?
Yes.
Yeah, and they
Like the
killed off
Netflix
Jamie
one?
Kennedy.
Yeah. He was only in 2 of them.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
in one, and then they killed him.
Yeah, and then like I saw him in an interview. He was like, "I don't know, it was fun to be in Tremors, but like, I'm glad they killed me off."
I'd fucking love to be in one of those movies. Are you kidding me? That'd be the
'Cause, like,
shit.
Oh,
Because they
Christ,
kind of
keep
tested the
pumping it out.
waters, like to see like if they were gonna pass it on to him, but like Bert is too much ingrained into that series
no,
now
no,
that
no,
like he
yeah, it's
can't do
Bert.
anything but him.
It's
Yeah.
all Bert. Did you? Oh, Alex. Oh my God. I'm so glad I actually brought this up now. Did you see that just the other day? There was a new, I can't fucking remember what it's for, but there was some commercial with Kevin Bacon where he's in it with Michael Gross talking about Tremors.
Oh shit, really?
Oh, I'm gonna send it to you as soon as this podcast is over. I'm gonna fucking send that shit to you, dude. It made me so fucking happy. Like,
because wasn't there supposed to be like a TV show that Kevin Bacon was like going to be attached to for a little bit?
Yes. Yeah.
And
No,
then they canceled
yeah,
it.
Yes. There's actually a fucking trailer for it on YouTube. That's like a full. Yeah. No, it's a
Oh
whole
man,
thing. Yeah.
I hope the Chucky series doesn't end up like that because like they just started filming it and like it was announced like a year and a half ago that it was supposed to like start like premiering already at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are you guys fans of American Horror Story?
I've only seen a couple seasons.
I'm back and forth on it. Yeah.
Fair enough.
There's some seasons I can go without.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
There are.
The Stevie Nicks season damn near did me in. I almost didn't make it through that season.
Yeah,
it's
that
like
was a tough one.
It's just
one episode where she has a cool piano thing. You're like, oh, cool, they got Stevie Nicks for an episode. And then like the next episode, she sings a song. And then like 3 more episodes, she sung a song. And I was like, okay, dude, we get it.
It's very,
Yeah.
very
Holy
Glee.
shit, she's a witch.
Yeah. Yeah. Ryan Murphy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, they just announced a thing about the next season and
With the Culkster,
no, it's
with Macaulay Culkin.
Yes, yeah.
For real?
Yeah, Macaulay
Yeah.
Culkin's gonna be in the new
Oh,
American
I'm
Horror
gonna
Story.
love that. I'm gonna
No,
watch that.
that is one aspect of it I'm actually super excited about.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see his return to acting and stuff because
Yeah.
like I've seen him pop up on like random YouTube shows that he's like
And-
friends
and-
with and stuff. But like,
and he was on an
other
episode
than
of
that-
Joe Rogan that was really, really good.
yeah, I don't know. He's like a very down to earth person. It seems like
Yeah,
it seems
he
like
seems
he
really
got
cool.
over the whole ego trip when he was a kid, and
Yeah.
then like he got like a shot of reality, and then was
But-
like, I
And
should
then,
just be a cool person now.
but then since then, the media has always painted him as like a fucking burnout or something.
Yeah, like he
But,
like
like,
went
he's-
into drugs or something,
Or-
and he
yeah,
never
and-
did
and-
that.
And, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But either way, what I know is that I saw my fucking Joe Rogan talk for like 3 hours straight, and he seemed like a really fucking cool guy. Like so, yeah. No, I'm super excited. To see
Have
him.
you guys ever seen the movie Party Monster with him and Seth Green?
Dude, I love that movie. It's just about them being like
Oh,
super flamboyant
it's
gay
so
men together
good.
in New
Like,
York.
eight-
Like,
years ago.
Okay. Holy fucking oversimplification.
well, yeah, it's an oversimplification. How am I going to go into how crazy deep that story actually is without just giving you the overhaul of
Just say
like,
it's
okay,
the
imagine
club kids
crazy-
in the 90s. That's
it was Club Kids in the 90s, but they were also like very prominently showing the gay side of them because like it was like a break free of the repression that they had felt in their entire lives before that moment kind of thing.
Wait, Marilyn Manson's in this movie too?
yeah. Oh
Party
yeah. dude.
Monsters? Yeah.
How do you like my UFO?
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't seen this, Aaron.
No,
Dude, oh yeah, it's a tiny nugget of gold that it's
I
definitely
saw
a
it.
must.
Fair enough though. I saw it once, like many years ago, but I know I've seen it.
My buddy back in the day thought he was a club kid. This was when I was still in high school, so he brought that movie over to my house and then left it there and he also left a bunch of weed. So I was sitting watching that movie, just toking like joint after joint alone at like 17. And there's one part, I think it's when he's talking to the rat, when he's like, towards the end, and the rat's like, "That's Drano, it's meant for your veins, or not meant for your veins, Jimmy, it's meant for the drains." That was like, and I like hit the joint and went to go pass it to my buddy who wasn't there. And then like the movie itself, I was like, "Oh no, this is what they're talking about with doing too many drugs."
Dude, I love the scene when he pulls the drugs out of the oven and he's like, "Hey, I made lunch.
Dinner's ready."
Oh yeah, dinner. That shit was so good. Oh man, what a classic movie.
But yeah, dude, I'll watch. I think I'm like 2 seasons behind American Horror Story. I might have that be my next background show.
I still need to watch 1984 for American Horror Story or whatever they called it.
That was actually my favorite one in a long, long time.
Yeah, I love slasher movies and horror tropes and stuff. So like, that's just right up my fucking alley.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. It's like, really super good. It's if you love that shit, it's really super good.
You can't see it, but right there is a ghost face action figure behind the dinosaur. There's a ghost face
like
action figure hanging out.
Dinosaur.
Hi, buddy.
He's a good boy.
Oh yeah,
it's a good boy.
Dude,
he lives on a chin.
That is gonna make no sense on a
podcast. That won't make any sense. For the audio listeners, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, go check out the Lost in the Dark page. Check this timestamp on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Go to the YouTube page.
Oh my god. Man. All right. Well, we have already been going for an hour and a half.
Oh shit.
I guess I'll just say like what are your guys's I mean, we've kind of really delved into a lot of it. It is almost impossible to unpack an entire 4-hour movie like this.
Dude, yeah, I went over some of my notes, and like one of them is like Cyborg's back arms are really cool. It's like
super cool. Those little arms that come out. Yeah.
Yeah, because like there's a couple of times where he gets like the little baby arms that comes out of his shoulder blades, and like I think that's cool.
Yeah, I like that too.
Like my notes are fucking all over the place with this fucking movie, man.
But okay, so yeah, any notes, any final thoughts, anything like that you guys wanted to shoot out about fucking Justice League?
I would. Oh, Aaron, take the floor.
Sorry. I just really kind of what I was saying earlier. I just want to see more of it. Like I was kind of like just the way that ended and like everything else. Like I hope that they kind of expand on the idea of it, like kind of going forward. I guess, you know, as far as like splitting it up, because it is like, you know, like even because like as you're kind of watching it, like I don't feel like the 4-hour time thing really was like it didn't feel like it to me. But it also kind of felt like, you know, like once you start it, like it's pretty like constant, like it's pretty nonstop with everything. I just kind of want to see like just the expansion on everything, kind of like see them kind of go into this, like maybe not so much like I definitely do agree with you know, kind of wanting it in more of like an episodic kind of deal instead of like an overall just like big movie, I guess. And I feel like maybe going forward they'll probably do something a little bit more with that, because I mean, I don't know, for one reason or another, like I think it would maybe translate over a little bit better. But yeah, I just like, I don't know, I thought it was sick. I liked a lot of it. It definitely made me want to go back and like pick out stuff from the original when it came out, because honestly, like I don't know how long it's been since I'd seen the first cut of it, but there was a lot of stuff that like I just felt kind of lost on when we were like within like the first 2 parts, maybe like when they were setting it all up was really the only time that I felt like I was kind of missing out on stuff. But really, like that was just kind of like source stuff that didn't really like that they were kind of building to. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like feeling a strong like 7 out of 10 on this one. Like I really liked it.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a 7.5, maybe like a soft 8 if I'm like feeling very generous about it, because like there was definitely some parts that like I felt like they could have easily trimmed or like maybe spent just a little more time on the CGI, but like it's understandable that some of these things aren't gonna be like all the way 100% amazing kind of things, because like they obviously had a time frame to get this done and get it like to look proper, and it's just so cool to actually see how different the main idea of this movie actually was, and how it all culminates into this grandiose story that leads up to something that legitimately does want me, or leaves me wanting to like want more. Like it's just such a small taste of what could be of a DC universe. And like even Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat and like Injustice, the fighting game about DC, was like, hey, with this setup, you could do an Injustice movie as the sequel, because like that's legitimately the plot. Lois dies and then Superman goes fucking crazy and destroys the world.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that would be sick.
Because then you could also get the scene of Superman ripping out the Joker's heart.
Yeah. You do so much crazy shit with that.
Yeah, dude, you could just see Henry Cavill just literally push his hand through fucking Jared Leto.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
I think we deserve that scene, you know?
Oh, dude, for real. Especially because like Henry Cavill has proven time and time again that he is a nerd of the people. Like his Geralt of Rivia stuff, and like the fact that like he's a big PC gaming nerd. Like he's definitely one of those guys that's like, this is the kind of stuff that I love to involve myself in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to say, like, at the end of the day, sitting down and watching through this, I did enjoy it more, obviously, than the theatrical cut. However, my point about Superman constantly being the end all in every version that he's in, where it's all comes down to relying on Superman. I feel like that's always going to do a disservice when you're telling a story. So if I'm gonna give this, I'm gonna give it a 6.5, closer to 7. I'd say.
But Superman failed. Flash saved the day, technically.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have got that far without Superman. Like
that's true. Yeah, Superman.
Like any story he's in, you know. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I would sit down and watch the next ones if they came out. I would definitely be interested to see those. I'm not going to go see Aquaman 2. I'm not going to watch Wonder Woman 3. I'm not as interested in the individual stories of all these characters so much as the big team ups, you know?
What about the Flash movie? That's going to end up being a team up movie. Even if they don't end up using Cyborg, Michael Keaton is going to be Batman in it because he's going to be time jumping. So like he's going to end up doing like a multiverse hop and meet Michael Keaton's Batman from the actual Michael Keaton fucking movies.
Yeah, have it centralized in dealing with like all of the characters at once. It's one thing that one of my few issues I'll ever take with the MCU is the amount of times when it's like, well, where the fuck is Iron Man when this is going on? Where is Thor? Why hasn't Captain America shown up to do something about this yet? Especially like that was my big thing with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., as I've said again ad nauseum. So when you have a movie where all these people are now all teamed up, they're all together, we're ready to go and do another like solo Flash movie or solo Batman movie, just we don't need it. We're teamed up. Let's keep going with Justice League. We got a whole multiversal threat out there. Let's explore that if we're going to.
Yeah. That's definitely a good point.
I will say, like, the one thing that I thought was going to bother me about it a bit, and it was kind of something Alex was saying, was like, because like within the first couple parts of it, I had this feeling like when I was watching it, because you know, like when you're watching like special features on a DVD, and like you can tell that you're obviously watching like deleted scenes or like bonus footage or whatever. Like the first couple parts of it had that like deleted scene kind of feel to it, and I thought that was going to maybe bother me a little more than it did, but I feel like it kind of like, you know, it kind of like worked itself out a little bit better, and it wasn't so much that towards the end of it. But like the first couple parts of it, I was like, man, this is like is this all going to be like kind of like pieced together like weird And like, because there's certain
The
parts where
weird
it kind of looks like, the pacing of it maybe. So I don't know. That was just a little side note I was having. Like, it did definitely like switch up a little bit towards the end of it, like towards the middle parts where it kind of picked up a bit more. But that was kind of the thought that I had. Like the initial like starting it, I was like, ugh. Like this is so.
Yeah, I think honestly, Mike has a good point. They should just do team up movies where if they want to restore the Snyderverse, they should just do Justice League movies. And then like individual movies can just be like their own Elseworld standalone. Like we'll have Robert Pattinson be the Batman in the standalone movies, but we'll have Ben Affleck in the Justice League movies. And like you could have it like that too, where you could have like your cake and eat it too, where it's like you get the cinematic universe angle, but you also get very concise, focused storylines that exist within its own self.
Now, see, and here's the thing. So the Flash movie is going to be Flashpoint, right?
For the most part,
they already blew their wad early with Batman versus Superman. So how are they going to do that again? What they should be doing is save Flashpoint for like 10 years down the road.
But they already blew their wad with the fucking Flash show with Flashpoint. They already ruined Flashpoint once.
Oh God, that's right. I'm so glad I stopped watching those shows.
But like honestly, with their version of the Flashpoint, it's not gonna be like the Amazonian Atlantean War like it was in like the comic books or in the storyline like that. I think it's gonna end up literally just being like Barry Allen tried to time travel to save his mom, and when he came back, he was in the wrong universe completely. So like he saved somebody else's mom completely, and then just like dipped out of that universe, and then like he was like, "Oh shit!" So I've been changing all of this stuff for literally no fucking reason at this point, and then it's gonna be like that kind of thing. Because honestly, like, what else are they gonna do with like old man Batman? Unless they set up Batman Beyond, which I will fucking goddamn fight somebody for.
There you go.
Fight him.
Yep.
Yes.
That'd be fucking sway, dude.
Yep.
That would be so sway.
Real sway.
No, I want that real bad. 100%. It's a great costume.
Yeah. That would be so sick.
I guess
Thank you for working that in, by the way.
right.
Oh yeah.
I guess I mean, I don't know. I guess I'd put this Justice League movie. I mean, considering the last one and everything, considering the whole situation, the whole gravity of the situation, I'd give it at least a 7.75 out of 10, somewhere in there. I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was great. You know, there were a couple of things that bugged me, but
You fucking like everything. What are you talking about?
yeah, that's at the end of the day. Yeah, I do. Yep. Thank you.
Got the
Aaron.
Kevin Smith syndrome
Yeah.
of I can't say anything bad about anything.
Kinda like, because if I'm going to talk about it, it's going to be something that I love. It's not going to be something that I don't like. What's the point of that? Like,
That's fair.
it's, you know, I'm just going to talk about the stuff I love. And that's why I was so excited to do this one with two other people that I knew that would at least be able to appreciate in a similar way that I do. Like, because like I liked it. I liked it.
My personal issues, which I'm sure someday I'll have to work through with a professional with Superman. All those issues aside, it was a cool movie, man.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed my time spent watching it. Which is something that can be said for the first cut.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. And that's fucking I'm there with you as well on that.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude, that original Justice League, when I rewatched it after Batman v Superman, I was like, God, give me Batman v Superman like any day over this fucking movie.
Yep. 100%. But I would like to wrap this up. I got two final questions for you guys. I would like to wrap this up on these two separate topics. First of all, I fucking it's fucking wonderful seeing your guys' fucking faces after this long.
Dude,
like
for
this
real,
is
yeah,
this
it's
is
been too long.
seriously like way too long. I fucking miss you guys to death. And now I haven't I haven't seen you guys or talked to you guys since the start of the year. And one question that I've been asking everybody on the podcast this year is you know, at the right at the end of last year. Of course, we lost Alexi Leho.
Oh damn.
So I was wondering about are either of you big Bodum fans? Are either of you big Alexi fans? Like, do you have any Alexi stories or anything like that?
Dude, I was huge into Bodum when I was in high school. And it was one of those bands that, like, every once in a while I'd be like, oh shit, yeah, Children of Bodum, I'm gonna throw them on. I'm like, crank that shit up for a few weeks. It was definitely like my drinking metal.
Yeah.
I went and saw them with Lamb of God back in the day.
When?
Oh God, what was
when?
that?
Where?
Was that 08 in Detroit? I think it was.
Do you remember what venue?
Fox Theater, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Let me. Yeah, it was them, Municipal Waste, and Lamb of God, and that show fucking slayed, dude.
It was actually 2009 at the Fillmore in Detroit. I was there.
You were there?
And so was Keith from the Convalescents.
Oh no shit.
Swear to God, it was Municipal Waste, Children of Bodom, Lamb of God, and I think As I Lay Dying was there too.
I know. Was it As I Lay Dying?
I think it was. And
wow.
and that was actually right after Alexi had fallen out of his bunk on the bus, broke his collarbone. He still played the Detroit show with the broken collarbone and still flipped the fucking guitar around his body, full show, fucking. And then it was either they played the next night and then had to cancel, or they had to cancel the rest of the tour after the Detroit show because he hurt himself too bad after playing. Like, it was literally like,
I remember him talking about that, like falling off the bunk in the bus. I was like,
yep.
Oh,
no, that was
man.
I was
the legend,
at that
man.
fucking show. I was at that fucking show, dude.
Yeah, man, we lost a legend. It's always shitty to lose someone, especially when everything like with that went down with them with Bodum and then Bodum after midnight.
Right. And I mean, I don't know, like, you know, we and don't get me wrong, like all four of us here have we've lost legends. We lost Dimebag. We lost Chester. We lost Mitch. You know, there's been a lot. There's a Vinny. There's Paul. Yeah, Paul Gray. Yep. There's been a long list. But for me personally, as a fan, like, I was never as into like Slipknot and Suicide Silence and like in a lot of those bands in the first decade of the 2000s as much as I was into Bodum. So Alexi to me is like we've lost Dio, we've lost Dime, you know, and of course those weigh extremely heavily. Like, they're my fucking gods. But Alexi, for me at least, was the first one of like my fucking guard. You know what I mean? My generation. This is my fucking guy. You know what I mean? And like it's man. Yeah, like the idea and they were such relentless road dogs. And then we have this pandemic happen, and then the idea that once we finally get the amazing thing of finally going back to concerts, that he's not going to be a part of that. That's fucked. That's fucked to me. Like, that's fucked. Man. That's fucked. Like, so Alex, you got any what's your experience with Children of Bodom?
Honestly, I don't really have too much experience with Children of Bodom. I definitely had a moment in high school when I was like delving into just like more random bands in general, when like I got into them for a little bit, because they were more on like that, like, I don't know, it was just a different side of what I was listening to, because like I was listening to like a bunch of like metalcore and stuff. Like, I was also one of those people that was like listening to the easycore stuff before they even had the term easycore. So like A Day to Remember is like old records and stuff like that. And then like getting into the heavier stuff where like you're like, okay, so yeah, Children of Bodom, like this shit is really cool. But I never really like linked with me. And I don't know why. It was just one of those things. One thing I always remember about Children of Bottom, though, was I would look up guitars like religiously when I was a teenager because I loved looking at guitars. And Alexi's signature guitar would come up constantly when I was trying to look up cool guitars because his signature guitar was just that cool. Like people loved that thing. And LTD wanted to make sure that people were buying that shit. Like a lot.
Do you have a favorite Alexi signature?
Oh, I don't even know. There's so many. Just like
because I know you're a vocalist, but I know you play guitar too.
Yeah, I'm really big into like those like boutique guitars that are like really fancy and stuff. Because like his signatures were a lot of different like flying V's.
Yeah,
and I never got too into flying V's, but there was some that like were really cool for him because like he always had the ones that were like one side is like crazy long and then you get like the short like normal
the Randy Rhoads style.
Yeah, and it was really badass, honestly. That I just loved that about like his sense of style.
That's fuck yeah. No, that's I mean, and before Alexi and Randy Rhoads are pretty much my favorite guitarists of all time. So it's no, I agree with you 100% on that. But all right, my final Aaron and I decided that last year, because when we did the Filthy 15 album of the year list, there were so many great albums with such a great blah. We decided last year was the year of the blah. I've decided that this year is the year of Alexi. So I'm just trying everyone that I have on. I'm just trying to get anything to do with Alexi or Bodum that I can out of any guest for sure. But my final question for you guys on a much higher note, how scale of 1 to 10 and in great detail, how fucking excited are you for Godzilla vs. Kong? I cannot.
Dude, I fucking love. I'm the big cheesy action movie guy.
Yes.
To a core, dude. Like I will watch Armageddon on any given day just because like the big rock blows up at the end. Like the core, all those movies. So like finally we're getting a Godzilla versus Kong with a massive budget. And as far as I can tell, they're doing the thing that I love what they do in these movies, and they're not like being super serious about it. And it's like it's a fucking giant. It's Kong versus Godzilla. How can you take that seriously?
Right.
Yeah, like even the human elements of the trailers make it seem like they're like less like, hey, this is like life and death situation. They're kind of more like, well, obviously whatever the fuck's gonna happen is gonna happen. So we kind of just have to watch what's gonna happen because like we realistically can't do shit.
Yeah.
I like up until really the last Godzilla movie and Skull Island, because I thought that was really sick. Like those were the two that got me even more excited about like going forward with it, because it's like, because I don't know, before I feel like you know there were studios and like especially like the first like reboot of the Godzilla movies. Like the first one, like it was good, but it was still like there was stuff missing from it, and like before that we really didn't have anything that like was super like, you know, that really like stood up with what I felt like, you know, like what a Godzilla movie would look like, or like what like a big monster movie would look like. And now that they're actually getting to the point where they're starting to get good, like because Skull Island was really like, that was the one that I was like, holy shit, like this is there's some crazy shit on this one. And then like the, you know, the next Godzilla movie kind of followed suit with it, so I kind of see that like both of those are kind of going together, and like they're just like throwing it all at the wall, and it's just like, you know, I think,
dude, that's what I'm saying. Like if we're gonna do it, let's do it. Let's go for it. Like like screw it. That's why I loved Pacific Rim, man. When people were like, oh, like the story I didn't like the story. Like there was a story to that movie. There's big robots punching monsters.
My only thing with Pacific Rim was they used a sword at the end of the movie when the entire other times they were punching these fucking monsters. How fucking stupid do you have to be when your goddamn robot has a sword on it? Do you have to be to just throw a punch? Like, not since Scream 3 when Ghostface sucker punched Dewey have I been so fucking mad about a punch. Like, makes no sense.
It doesn't have to make sense. I went to a movie because they said this robot is gonna punch this monster a bunch, and I was like, yeah. And then
why
they were like,
punch him?
at the end, they were like, he's also got a sword, and I was like, fucking sweet,
Bro. They could have just
punching.
They could have mobile suit Gundam that shit and just been like, yeah, he's got a sword. Fucking deal with it. He just showed it off right there in the beginning. He cut that thing's head off.
Well, the kicker. Well, here's the kicker though too with Godzilla vs Kong is that you know, like we were all just wrong with the WandaVision stuff. I could be wrong about this, but you know, you have that line in all the trailers where they go, Godzilla's hurting people and we don't know why. Well,
I love that.
I think it's Mechagodzilla.
It's Mechagodzilla, motherfucker.
Dressed in Godzilla skin, and it's gonna get burned off by the real Godzilla, just like in the original Godzilla vs Mechagodzilla. And if you watch the newest sneak peek trailer, it's like a minute and a second long, dropped like yesterday or the day before, brand new. There's this shot at the very end where it's an up close shot of Godzilla's eye, and in the reflection you see Mechagodzilla. Like I feel like that's what I'm looking at. Like that's all I can say. Like I don't know.
Oh, so, dude, if that's the route they go with it, dude, I'm going to be standing in my fucking room.
Yeah.
Honestly, what I think it's gonna be is Godzilla's pissed because they've already confirmed by like toy lines and stuff that like Mechagodzilla is gonna probably show
up. I've seen that too. Yep.
They used Gyarados head to fucking reform a new kaiju. So they made Mechagodzilla with Gyarados remaining head. So Godzilla's pissed off that he can sense Gyarada again.
Wait. What? Like where?
Yeah.
What?
At the end of King of the Monsters, they showed that military guy with Gyarada's remaining head.
That was the after credit scene. Yes.
Yeah, and they used that skull to like fashion what is going to use to make Mechagodzilla and stuff. And that's why Godzilla's pissed off and attacking humans, because humans made something that he literally just killed.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Like that's I guarantee it.
Oh, dude, I love going into these movies with as many, even if it's like a toy line spoiler, that usually ends up being right. Because man, sure, let's do it.
Like that's how they're gonna like
this.
That's how they're gonna explain how it can shoot lasers and shit. They're like, oh yeah, they're focusing it through fucking Gyarada's skull. Like random bullshit science that just makes somewhat sense because it's a monster.
Oh, dude, I love monster movie pseudoscience.
Yeah, dude, because like why does Kong's axe charge with like the fucking laser from Godzilla? Because it's just his quill. Like
because it looks dope.
And it can conduct it. And like,
no, I got that. It's because it's off the back of a former Godzilla.
From Dagon.
It's like one of Godzilla's spikes from his back.
Yeah, there was like a Godzilla in like the comics for Skull Island that was named Dagon, that was killed by one of like I think it was one of like the Alpha Skrull crawlers ended up killing him.
Yeah.
Those comics are really cool, honestly. You should definitely take a look if you ever get a chance.
I'm going to, because that sounds amazing. I had no idea they existed.
Yeah, they have really good lore in it, like the Skull Island stuff. Because like they wanted to just like have like something to explain like little things like why Kong wasn't at the fucking gathering of monsters after Gyarada died.
Right.
Also,
so you're actually talking about the fucking current comics. The current okay.
Yeah. Like that, like it's like one of those like Monsterverse like side story.
I've seen those.
Yeah. They have a lot of really cool things like that. Definitely worth it for those kind of little plot points and stuff. Because like they also are setting up the whole Hollow Earth thing for Kong and Godzilla to go to, or Kong to go to at least.
Well, I'm just saying, we did a crossover podcast for Justice League. Maybe we should for Godzilla Kong.
Honestly,
as well.
with these big movies, I'm not opposed to that, man.
Yeah, we should do that. Yeah.
Like, right? Come on. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
I am definitely with that.
Let's lock that in. Because that comes out. It's a 1 week from Wednesday. All right.
Wait, for real?
Yes. Hard
Oh
yes.
my god.
Hard yes. I've been counting it down since I was born.
Oh my god. So that means like in like 9 days from
That's
when we
what
were
the
recording
tattoo
this.
meant.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So maybe it comes out the 31st. So maybe April 1st we try to do something.
April Fools.
That'll be that. Yeah, April Fool's Day. It's a Thursday. It's a Thursday. But yeah, maybe we try to do that again. Do this again. Then that would be fucking amazing.
That would be really cool.
Count me in, dude. I'm down.
Fuck
like,
yeah.
Then like the next like big movie after that would be like Mortal Kombat.
Oh, and I am pumped for that.
Dude, oh yeah, we had that whole like mini rant that fucking
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
Mike-
I heard that. Yeah.
Mike and I brought it up while we were talking band stuff a couple weeks ago, and like just had to keep it because like, oh man, that whole trailer got me just way too hyped. Like I
Super jacked.
wasn't this hyped for Kong versus Godzilla's like trailer until that fucking scene at the end when he like comes with the axe and slams it down on Godzilla's head. But like for the Mortal Kombat one, it was like, oh, this guy's enhanced. He's got like superhuman abilities. And then Jack's arm shatter, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh.
Freezes his own blood and stabs him with it. Like,
Yeah, and it's like the cool shit that's got me in that trailer immediately happened. Like right the fuck away. And
yeah.
I'm a huge Mortal Kombat nerd. Like that was like my favorite game when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I had a little like move guide to like do all the fatalities and stuff. Like I was so into Mortal Kombat as a kid.
That was one of the first ones I did too.
Then we'll do another one for that too. Fuck it. I'm super down. I'm super
HBO
down.
release week. We'll just fucking
yeah.
when they do an HBO Max release, we can fucking do a crossover podcast. I'm so down for that.
And then we'll sprinkle in the fucking, Winter Soldier shit and all that stuff.
Speaking, oh dude, that first episode, man. I'm not gonna spoil it because I know Mike hasn't seen it yet, but like I'm so pumped at the fact that Sam gets a chance to actually shine.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, Mike. I'm literally just gonna say that I think that it's cool that Sam gets a story arc.
Yeah, I agree. And I won't say anything.
I didn't say
more.
anything.
I wouldn't know if you did or not because
Just take off your-
it's like literally as soon as we're off this call, that's like I've got it queued up on my next screen. I'm not even like bothering with like having the screen over it. That's
You're gonna love it, dude.
I'm way more excited about Loki than I am about Winter Soldier, but I think that would be cool too.
A little bit.
Dude, Loki's gonna be really cool.
I'm super excited.
I want more information on it. Like the Time Variance Authority is like one thing, but like,
yeah,
where are we going with the plot? Like, what does Loki have to do himself?
And
Yeah.
well, that's kind of because that's the one thing I have about Winter Soldier and Falcon is that going into WandaVision, I knew why this was happening in relation to the rest of the MCU. I knew where I get that this is a bridge to a thing. I don't get that. I don't understand that for Falcon and Winter Soldier yet.
Mhm.
Of course, that will be revealed, but I don't understand it going in. I do get it though, at least somewhat for Loki. So I am a little bit more excited for Loki than I was for Falcon Winter Soldier, but I'm still like I'm balls in for all of them. So
well, is the winter because that's the Winter Soldier one was the first one like prior to Endgame, isn't it? Or is
no. Everything's after Endgame.
Yeah. So the original slated MCU release had Falcon and Winter Soldier coming first, and then you were supposed to get WandaVision, which was going to lead into Doctor Strange.
Right.
But then it all got fucked up because of the Rona.
Right.
So they got released technically out of order.
Right.
Gotcha.
So
That's the one thing I'm trying to keep up with is like where they fall at in relation to like what's going on with everything.
WandaVision is basically like a couple weeks after Winter Soldier or after Endgame. Sorry. And then Falcon and Winter Soldier is like a couple months after Endgame.
about half a year.
Yeah, okay. That's where we're at.
And then Spider-Man Far From Home takes place at 8 months after Endgame.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That was when I was trying to tie in because I remember that was the first movie that came out since
Alex, have you shared the mind-blowing revelation about JB Smoove with these guys?
Fucking the fact that JB Smoove in Spider-Man Far From Home is obsessed with witches, and it takes place
everything on witches.
And it takes place like 7 months after Scarlet Witch took an entire fucking town hostage with magic, and witches seem to have hit the fucking normal populace, because how else are they gonna explain what the fuck happened there other than witches?
Oh,
Yeah.
But he was obsessed with learning about witches because some weird shit happened about a year before that, and he was like, "Bro,
Well
I'm a man
done.
of science, but witches."
Well done. That's
Yeah.
very good.
I was asking Alex. I was like, "How are they supposed to like make this continuity work? Like all that?" And then he explained that to me. It's like, "Oh, motherfucker, okay."
Yeah, dude, those little tiny
Also, does
details
mean
kill me.
that I guess that means Peter Parker spent 8 months completely not dealing with his PTSD for him to keep breaking down like he did in Far From Home.
Well, he probably had a lot of pieces to pick up.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I guess I say that it sounds almost a little insensitive. He got dusted and then came back and his fucking mentor died. So
his aunt reappeared to a whole fucking family being in their apartment and thinking that there's some kind of fucking like getting like cursed by a ghost or some shit. And she's like, "What the hell's going on?" And that's why they started Feast.
Yep.
So they could help people. And I love the fact that they started Feast throughout like
I did too.
MCU.
I thought that was a great aspect of it as well. Yeah.
Super nice Spider-Man touches there.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Enter the Spider-Verse?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's an older movie. I just saw it like a few months ago, and yeah, I was really surprised. I liked how they brought them all in, and how it was kind of like it was more of like an animated thing where like every time they'd introduce a Spider-Man, it would like,
okay, let's do this one last time.
Yeah. But also just
it was fun.
Yeah, I was a big fan of like the art style in it. I liked how it all like flowed together, how it was like that comic book kind of like realism type stuff.
Oh, dude. I love that Miles actually lags in his frame rate. Like he has a choppier frame rate than everybody else until he's like confident in himself, and then he gets a smoother frame rate. And in the Spider-Man Miles Morales game, when you wear the Spider-Verse suit, if you have the additional thing on it, you actually go at a different frame rate.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's really cool that like they like kept that detail, because it's like Miles, when he's like unsure of himself, is like a choppier person in general, and then once he smooths it out, he's like, "Nah, man, I'm Spider-Man," and like it's just a cool little character detail.
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome. I didn't realize that.
And I'm glad that like the third movie that they're talking about doing is basically like a live action Spider-Verse movie.
Ooh, I'm the exact opposite. I'm really hoping that they don't fucking do that, man.
Really?
Because like, as much as I loved the Tobey Maguire movies, I don't want him to be Spider-Man anymore. Like, he's too old of a man to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna retrace my fucking steps from over 20 years ago and be Spider-Man." Like, that
exactly
not,
like that Peter Parker was in Enter the Spider-Verse.
I don't know. It just doesn't read to me the way that it should. Like, it seems like something that like should be saved for post Tom Holland's trilogy. Like, they should set it up at the end of the Spider-Man 3. Like, if they're gonna do it, they should do it full blown after Spider-Man's had his storyline, because he's wanted for murder currently, and like he's got a lot of shit on his plate. It would just be so weird if they just like sucked him out and then they were just like, "Oh yeah, multiverse now." It's like, but like, is he like, if they did that, like,
I'm
a whole lot of questions.
I'm sure they'll be able to tie it all together though.
Yeah,
like,
I'm definitely
do we
gotta
not
wait to
have
see.
faith? Do we not have faith in Marvel at this point?
I have faith in the Feige.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I loved Spider-Man Far From Home enough that like that's why I want it to not be Spider-Verse, because like I really love Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
I do too. I think he's the best.
Yeah, like of the more current ones, he's probably my favorite for sure. Like,
yeah, because I just feel like he hits every aspect. Like, he's like a very nerdy kid,
well,
but like he also has a very convincing, confident Spider-Man.
With the you got to be able to hit both parts of the character if you're going to be a superhero with his identity. And Garfield was a great Spider-Man, but a terrible Peter Parker. Maguire was a great Peter Parker, but a terrible Spider-Man.
Right. It's just, it's like our Batman talk, you know, like Michael Keaton was really good.
I think Tom Holland,
George Clooney had some bad shit.
Nails it.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like we got like bat nipples were important. So was the up close ass shot.
Oh, God.
Important.
Super important, critical to the storyline. And that I cannot. That is a perfect. We've been going for 2 hours. That is a fucking perfect place.
That is a great stopping point.
Yeah,
Do
dude,
does-
bat butt.
Bat butt.
Which is funny because I gotta say this real quick.
Go ahead.
In Mallrats, fucking Kevin Smith does the fake comic book covers for every character.
Yeah.
And Ben Affleck's skeezy character is Buttman on his comic, and then he ended up being Batman.
Fuck yes. Things coming full circle. We even got fucking Buddy Christ right here.
Dude.
Hiya.
I have mine somewhere. I don't know where that fucker is.
Does Bog Talk have an outro? Do you guys have an outro that you do?
No. We just go over our socials, man. I'm Bog Wraith _Mike on Instagram.
And I'm Alexander the Wraith on Instagram.
And everybody be sure to follow them. Links in the description below to them. All things Bog Wraith, all things Bog Talk. And as always, lots more coming very soon from Lost in the Dark. And apparently more fucking mashups. More
we're gonna
crossovers.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely
the Lost in the Bog
natural.
mashups.
The Lost in the Bog, yep. Lost in the Bog Talk.
And there it is. There it is at the end of the first one. We say it.
I'm gonna.
Yep.
Oh shit! Yeah, there's like the you cut it off before you finish it.
I'm gonna get.
Oh yeah, this is the Lost in the. Lost in the what? Lost in the what?
No, I'm making up a fucking special logo for that. That's fucking perfect.
Oh yeah, dude, that's dope.
But all right, yeah. Thank you guys so much for being on. There will be more.
Thanks for being on our show.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for.
Oh my god, no, it's
having us. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no, this is a fucking, like I said before we started. Like I've always wanted to be on someone else's podcast, so this is amazing for me. I'm loving this. But yeah, lots more to come. We will be back with more Lost in the Bog in the future. And thank you guys so much. This is amazing seeing you guys again.
Great seeing you guys too.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone, hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. Raise your fucking horns, bang your heads. Love you all to death. Good night.